Okay, so I'm wondering, have you ever panicked when you hear the garage door open? Have you ever felt a rush of anxiety when you see his car pulling up? Have you ever walked around the house in a panic, thinking that you might step on a landmine and upset him? Have you ever felt so depressed and sad because he's completely ignoring you like you don't exist? Have you felt broken enough to where you want to go cry in the closet, but you don't want your kids to see your sadness? Has your body ever been so flooded with anxiety when you get into bed at night that you start to sweat and then you lie there awake all night long thinking, what's wrong with me? What am I gonna do? What's happening? Our bodies know so much sooner that something is up than our minds. Our bodies are like the first to set off an alarm. You aren't in a good situation. We aren't meant to live in this constant state of fear. And if you are, and if you're living in anxiety and your body is falling apart and you're getting sicknesses and you don't know why, don't ignore the signs. Our bodies are brilliant and they know when we are in an unsafe situation, and this is not how God intended for us to live. He intended for us to be loved by our husbands, like Christ loved the church. In fact, the Bible even says if if there is someone who's lying, harmful, deceitful, hard-hearted, like have nothing to do with such people. That doesn't mean if you've got a husband who kind of blows it here and there, asks for forgiveness, then cleans up his behaviors. I'm talking about somebody who continuously has these patterns that hurt you based on their behaviors, even if their words are beautiful. And they cause your heart to be broken and eventually your body to break down. Feeling anxiety and depression in a relationship are signs we should not ignore. I did. I walked around mine as though I was living in the most beautiful garden because I wanted it to be beautiful. I wanted it to be right. I wanted it to be pure and lovely. And I would hold on to the rose so tightly that I didn't even notice the blood dripping down my arms, although I think I knew. But the hardest thing for me to accept would have been, it's him. He's causing me the pain. He's hurting me because he doesn't care about me. That was a very hard realization for me to get to. In fact, I made a TikTok and I'm going to put that here. He disregards every boundary that I've put in front of him. But see, Patrick, it doesn't, my boundaries don't matter. And Mike can stomp all over these. Time out. You don't matter to him. If you matter to him, he would not be putting you through this horrible stress. He would not be putting Jordan through this horrible stress. Yes, he doesn't care about you. He's coming to control you. His main goal is always control. And there's a mountain of evidence to prove this. It's not my opinion, it's the evidence of his behavior. I don't have an opinion about it because I have some axe to grind with Mike. It's the behavior that he's displayed consistently for decades. Being deceptive, going behind your back, being sexually out of control, looking at porn, whatever, financially. If you want to try to work this out with him, the only option when you work it out is you die. Which is happening to you slowly.
and your physical health is suffering. You live in a state of anxiety. You live in a state of uncertainty. You live in a state of fear. And he knows that. But he doesn't care.
So that was a really hard realization. That was a conversation with my counselor, Patrick Doyle, and it was very hard to hear the words, "He doesn't care." My body already knew that. I wrote about this and living in denial, ignoring the signs my body gave me in my book, Escaping My Fairytale. I wanted to talk about how fascinating our bodies are because our bodies react, respond, and know well before our minds do. There's an excerpt on page 11 talking about how people see what I don't see, what I don't want to see, but what my body is screaming at me for. It's what I worked for, dreamed of, and have been blessed with. Yet there is something I cannot see. Sometimes other people see it so clearly that they are overwhelmed with a look of concern, disbelief, and sadness for me. They begin to empathize with me for a pain I have yet to understand. They see my pain as though my wounds are showing, vivid and in full color. I've looked, no injury to be seen, yet the hurt is deep. They know. They point, and all in the same direction. I see nothing. For me, there is nothing but goodness, blessings, and emotional fortune. And yet they point. Days, years pass, and I don't see. But I feel, oh, how I feel the pain and fear. This oncoming pain comes without warning, as if from nowhere. Sometimes it's born from a beautiful moment in a most peaceful place. I trip, falling painfully to the ground on something invisible but tangible enough to make me fall. It's always my hope that my kids don't see. I smile, even if I am unable to stand for a time. I continue as though I haven't fallen. It's a force, powerful, dangerous. It can turn my laughter into tears as quickly as a switch being flipped up and down. The sun goes down before it seems time on days that quickly end, and my joy disappears into the gray. I walk, dance, and sometimes jump without knowing it's there. I step on a landmine. My world explodes. Tears sit behind my eyes, and a heaviness is in the center of my being, pulling me down. I have to stop, rest, and try to recover from something I can't see or understand. I know others wait. They are confused by my silence and the isolation I can so quickly slip into. At the end of this page, I write, "Oh, breathe. I think I hear the car. He's home." My body knew. I remember one night I could not sleep, and it was turning like 4 a.m. and I told him, "I don't know why I can't sleep by you. I don't know what to do, but I've got to get some sleep in." And he set me up in this little room. It was kind of like an attic room, but it had carpeting. It had been set up to be an attic room. And I put my sleeping bag in there, and I cried for a bit. And then I fell asleep and had probably the best sleep I had had for years. And I think that was one of my wake-up moments that, okay, this might be him. Last thing I would want to admit, because what does that mean? It means that the person that I married, that I loved more than anyone, was the cause of my continued anguish, sickness, anxiety, and depression, because his behaviors, his deceit was destroying me. And what does that mean? It means this little broken person has to figure out how to stand up and go to safety, which feels like a huge ordeal, and it was. But it's what I had to do because it was how the Lord was saving me. And it's how he wrote my story. I had to pay attention to my body, eventually my mind that began to understand reality, and my heart is still working on it. And it's been insanely difficult. You know that. Admitting the truth can be one of the most difficult things you do, but the most important for your survival. Please listen to your body. What is it saying? God intended for you to be loved. You're not to be living in fear in your home because of the behaviors of your husband. Paying attention to my body and the signals was very difficult for me to do, but the most important step because it's what began to lead me and my children to live in reality and to be safe with the Lord. So I wanted to come and talk about our bodies, your body. Pay attention. Pay attention. Don't ignore and be willing to accept the truth. Because words can be beautiful, but it has to be, their love has to be seen in their behavior, in their actions on a continual basis. That's what love is. I'm here because I'm walking through this. I'm still escaping my fairy tale. And I'm super glad you came. And I hope you keep coming back as we walk through these castle walls together. I'll see you next time.